I just feel really bad, and I just wanted to tell you that if you need somebody to talk to, that we should sit down, because I just feel really bad. Thank you. I'm fine now.
Girls, the Kardashians. Kourtney and Travis, yes, that Kourtney Kardashian, just faced a shocking scandal. Kourtney recently discovered that Travis had secretly withdrawn $1 million from their joint bank account without her knowledge. What seemed like a perfect love story between the Barkers hit a major roadblock. This betrayal led to a highly publicized legal battle, and eventually, Travis was incarcerated. The situation caused immense distress for both Kourtney and Travis. Everyone thought their relationship was ideal. After failed past romances, they finally seemed to have found their happily ever after. They merged their finances, were inseparable, and constantly shared affectionate posts on social media. But the shocking truth came out when Kourtney checked their bank statements. For months, Travis had been taking hundreds of thousands of dollars from their joint account, and she had no idea. Kourtney was heartbroken and overwhelmed. How could the man she trusted the most do this to her? She struggled to process how someone she loved so deeply could betray her in such a massive way. She was consumed with grief and disbelief. It took a lot of painful reflection and emotional struggle before she made a tough choice. She decided to go to the police. This wasn't an easy decision. She had to balance her feelings with her need for justice. Once she pressed charges, the story spread like wildfire and became the talk of the town. In a shocking turn of events, Travis admitted that he had been under immense financial pressure and felt like he had no way out. With tears in his eyes, he confessed to Kourtney that he withdrew money from their joint account without her permission. "I was drowning in debt and didn't see another way," he told her. "I never wanted to hurt you. I was just desperate. But I know that doesn't excuse what I did. I'm truly sorry." Kourtney was devastated. The betrayal shattered her trust, leaving her completely heartbroken. She couldn't understand how the person she loved could do something so unforgivable. After struggling with overwhelming emotions and thinking through her options, she made the painful decision. She had to report Travis to the authorities. As soon as the news broke about the theft and Kourtney's decision to press charges, it became a nationwide sensation. The media went into a frenzy, and public opinion was deeply divided. Some people defended Travis, trying to understand his actions, while others stood by Kourtney, praising her for standing up for justice. Through it all, the Kardashian family, known for their loyalty and unity, rallied around Kourtney. They promised to support her every step of the way, ensuring she wouldn't face this heartbreaking ordeal alone. Through it all, Kourtney's family stood by her, showing their unwavering support and commitment to one another. When the case went to trial, the revelations were both shocking and heartbreaking. Prosecutors revealed that Travis had been draining their joint account for months. He had been transferring large sums into his personal accounts and spending the money for his own benefit. On the other hand, Travis's defense team argued that the money was meant for shared expenses, insisting that he had no bad intentions. They tried to paint him as someone who had made a mistake, not someone who intended to harm Kourtney. However, the prosecution presented undeniable evidence that told a different story. They produced bank records and brought in financial experts who testified that Travis had been intentionally and deceitfully using the money, directly contradicting his defense. This painted a disturbing picture of deliberate wrongdoing, making an already painful situation even worse. When Kourtney took the stand, her usual poise and confidence broke. Speaking through tears, she described the deep betrayal she felt. The pain in her voice was undeniable as she recalled how this ordeal had shattered her trust. "I thought we were building a life together, creating a future," she told the court. "But all along he was taking from me, taking from us, without any care for how much it would hurt. His mounting debts, and had acted out of desperation, not malice. They urged the jury to see him as a man who had made a regrettable mistake, rather than someone who deliberately betrayed the woman he loved. However, Kourtney's emotional testimony had already left a lasting impact. Her heartfelt words and the overwhelming evidence painted a clear picture of deception and broken trust. The trial had quickly turned into a media spectacle, with the public glued to every development. The downfall of a once-adored couple played out in front of the world, turning their love story into a legal battle filled with heartbreak. As the trial neared its conclusion, all eyes were on the jury. Would they see Travis as a man who lost his way, or as someone who had knowingly betrayed the trust of the woman who stood by him? The courtroom held its breath as the verdict approached. COVID-19 pandemic had severely impacted the music industry, cutting Travis Barker's personal income. His defense team argued that he was not a criminal mastermind, but rather a man who had made a terrible mistake out of desperation and fear. For his financial future, Travis never intended to hurt Kourtney, his lawyer stated. He is genuinely sorry for the pain he has caused. The defense insisted that Travis had acted out of overwhelm and poor judgment, not malice. They pleaded for leniency, arguing that he deserved a chance to make things right and regain Kourtney's trust. However, Kourtney's legal team strongly disagreed. They pointed to Travis's extravagant lifestyle and emphasized that he had been stealing money for months, not just making a one-time mistake. This wasn't a moment of desperation. It was a deliberate and calculated betrayal, the prosecution argued. The prosecutor made it clear this wasn't a crime of passion or a reckless decision. It was a planned, intentional act of deception, one that deeply harmed someone who trusted him the most. Moment the verdict was read, emotion overwhelmed her. The weight of everything she had endured finally hit her, and tears welled in her eyes. Travis, on the other hand, sat in stunned silence. The reality of his actions and their devastating consequences had fully sunk in. His once glamorous life had crumbled, and there was no escaping the punishment. The judge sentenced him to 3 years in prison, imposed a hefty fine, and ordered him to repay the full $1 million he had stolen from Kourtney. The courtroom was tense and emotional, with reporters scrambling to capture the fallout of the high-profile scandal. As Kourtney walked out, she knew she had made the right choice, but the pain of betrayal still lingered. This chapter of her life was finally over, but the scars would take time to heal. Meanwhile, Travis was led away in handcuffs, facing the consequences of his choices. The once-adored couple had fallen apart in the most tragic and public way possible. Final downfall was inevitable. Once a celebrated musician and devoted husband, he was now a convicted felon, his reputation in ruins. Meanwhile, Kourtney was overwhelmed with grief. The final verdict shattered her, and she wept openly, the weight of betrayal and loss too much to bear. Though the ruling brought a sense of justice, it did little to heal the emotional wounds left behind. The confident, graceful woman who had first walked into the courtroom now seemed broken, carrying the deep scars of betrayal and a shattered faith in love and trust. Fans of both Kourtney and Travis struggled to reconcile the image of their once-admired love story with the ugly truth that had come to light. Even the Kardashian family, always in the media spotlight, now faced a scandal so massive that it threatened to overshadow their carefully curated public image. For Kourtney, the path to healing was long and painful. She turned to therapy and relied on her family's support to help her rebuild her life. But no matter how much she tried to move forward, the betrayal still haunted her, a constant reminder of the deep sorrow she had endured. As for Travis Barker, his fate was sealed. Travis Barker was found guilty on all counts. Now, locked behind prison walls, his future remains uncertain. With plenty of time to reflect, will he be able to rebuild his career and repair his shattered public image after his release? Or will this scandal mark the end of an era for him? And what about Kourtney? Will she fully move on from the betrayal? Or will the scars of this public humiliation linger forever? The Kardashian-Barker family has faced many controversies, but this one has shaken them to their core. What does the future hold for them now? To ease the deep emotional pain she had endured, the courtroom fell silent as the reality of the verdict sank in. Travis Barker was guilty on all counts: theft, fraud, and violation of trust. The judge handed down a 3-year prison sentence, imposed a substantial fine, and ordered him to repay the entire $1 million he had taken from Kourtney. Though Kourtney had remained composed throughout the trial, the final ruling broke her. Tears streamed down her face as the weight of betrayal, loss, and heartbreak became unbearable. While the verdict gave her a sense of justice, it did little to heal the scars left behind. For both Kourtney and Travis, this moment would define their futures. One searching for healing, the other left to face the consequences of his actions. The confident and graceful woman who had entered the courtroom now appeared broken, burdened by the deep scars of betrayal and a shattered faith in love and trust. Fans of both Kourtney and Travis struggled to reconcile their once-admired love story with the painful reality that had emerged during the trial. Meanwhile, the Kardashian family, always in the media spotlight, now faced a public crisis so massive that it threatened to overshadow their carefully crafted image. For Kourtney, the road to recovery has been long and painful. She has undergone extensive therapy and leaned heavily on her family's support as she works to rebuild her life. Yet, despite her efforts to